All of this can be found at URL.
At URL. She is too stupid to be the mayor of Los Angeles. She is too stupid to be in public office.
Urgently call for the immediate recall of Mayor Karen Bass due to her gross mismanagement and failure to effectively respond to the devastating 2020 fires.
Is now the right time to have a special legislative session on allocating money to fight Trump in a way that you could already do without a special legislative session?
So I'm here to address these wildfires.
You are a moron.
Why can't it be someone that knows what they're doing, that knows how to plan?
I voted for Karen Bass, I voted for Biden, I voted for Gavin Newsom. I'm sick of it. It's like at some point you have to give me a reason to vote for you again.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about the lack of accountability of the Democrat Party again, because we got effectively Democrats turning on each other today. You got Gavin Newsom out here crying about mis and disinformation because he's upset that he's being blamed over a disaster in his disaster response that's transpiring under his governance. He's literally the governor of California, but he's being mad that he's blamed when something goes wrong. You can't make this up.
I ask you, we've got to deal with this misinformation. There were hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation lies. People want to divide this country, and we're going to have to address that as well. And it breaks my heart as people are suffering and struggling that we're up against those hurricane forces as well. And that's just a point of personal privilege that I share that with you, because it infects real people that are out there, people I meet every single day, people the mayor's been meeting with, and they're having conversations that are not the typical conversations you'd have at this time, and you wonder where this stuff comes from, and it's very damaging as well. But we're here to get the job done.
Out here crying like a little baby about mis and disinformation. Meanwhile, you have Mark Zuckerberg coming out here and saying like, hey, we're not doing all of this fact-checking nonsense that we were doing before, all this mis and disinformation stuff. You guys were literally out here trying to make us censor memes in the past.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there. Basically, it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They want us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're gonna see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating, coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
Shout out to Joe Rogan for exposing the radical left. These guys forget they used to have him on their side, but it's only so many times you could lie to somebody's face before they just might turn on you. Meanwhile, you got propagandists like Jessica Tarlov out there. I'm sure you guys love Jessica Tarlov, right? So she's out here playing defense for the Democrats per usual.
There's also, which I think is particularly the most damaging story, which is that there was $17 million cut from the fire budget. And that's also inaccurate. So last year's budget had an extra $17 million because they bought one-off expenses. These SCBAs for respiratory protection for firefighters and new suits. Those aren't in the new budget because you buy them once every several years. Also, there's an additional $50 million that's been set aside for the fire department. And when they were doing the budget negotiations, it wasn't finished. So that money is coming. There will actually be more money in the fire budget next year.
Lies. Oh, lies!
Now, the stupid thing about what Jessica's doing here is she's always being the propagandist. I don't know if just because she's being paid to do it. I don't know if she enjoys doing it. I don't know what the hell's up with this lady. But the fire chief herself disputes everything that Tarlov is saying.
Let me be clear. The $17 million budget cut and the elimination of our civilian positions like our mechanics did and has and will continue to severely impact our ability to repair our apparatus. So with that, we have over 100 fire apparatus out of service. And having these apparatus in the proper amount of mechanics would have helped. And so it did absolutely negatively impact. I was also directed to develop a plan as part of a budget reduction exercise, and that could equate to $48.8 million. And I rang the bell that these additional cuts could be very, very devastating for our ability to provide public safety.
The fire chief is completely turned on the Democrats. She is a turncoat. She's like, I'm not going down for this. I tried to do what I was supposed to do. We out here fighting for our life with these hoses with no damn water in them.
The lady that cut the funding from the fucking fire hydrants.
Karen Bass. Fuck her.
Yeah. Fire her.
They have no water.
They actually have no water?
I actually asked him, this guy right here. I said, how do you have no water? He said, we have no water.
Oh my God.
And y'all out here talking about cutting budgets and it ain't your fault. You over here in Ghana doing who knows what. Meanwhile, there's no water pressure and they're cutting budgets. And she feels as though Karen Bass has failed her.
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city?
It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say justifiably what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job, and I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
So woke weirdo and liar in chief Gavin Newsom thinks he's got somebody fooled out here talking about, I'm calling for an independent investigation into the loss of water pressure to local fire hydrants and the reported unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir. We need answer to ensure this. I can't even finish reading this, guys. This is so stupid. You're the governor. How the hell do you not know? First, I know you're not going to know every single thing, but you literally were calling this mis and disinformation. This is the type of stuff that Trump was talking about that you said was mis and disinformation. What the hell is he lying about? These people are so stupid. And this, your mayor, Karen Bass, this is, these people go hand in hand. Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, what this is Newsom's getting ready. He's found his fall person. Okay, lesbian Karen Bass. Okay, woke DEI mayor Karen Bass is who is his fall person. He doesn't want to take the fall. He doesn't want to resign. He's not gonna. But they're trying to get Karen Bass to do it. Fire chief's trying to get her to do it. Gavin Newsom's trying to get her to do it because they don't want to take accountability. I'm sure, in my opinion, it's probably all of their fault. But they found their fall person, and to be honest with you, I think that Bass is going down.
When a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants. Please defer that to DWP or whomever.
Flashback. You call it powered by equity, and I know that it's been really important for the DWP to put an equity lens on everything.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the number one thing that attracted me to this role. It's important to me that everything we do, it's with an equity lens and social justice and making sure that we right the wrongs that we've done in the past.
Now I'm going to do a quick reaction here to this fake behind outrage that we're seeing from the tyrannical left. Ron DeSantis goes off on this reporter. It was glorious because, you can't, Donald Trump is politicizing this. It's like, you can't say that Democrats did anything wrong. They're the people in power. They're in charge. Stuff goes wrong. You are entitled to say something bad about it. The fake news does it all the time when they think something might go wrong with Trump or conservatives. Even if it doesn't go wrong, they just sit up there and just speculate every day. But now that something's going wrong, they're in the middle of a crisis. You can't say anything. Shut up, fake news. Let's get into this.
It's appropriate for the president-elect or a president to be criticizing.
Is it appropriate for people in your industry to try to create division and to try to create narratives anytime these things happen? Now, you're not as interested in doing that because Newsom is a D. If Newsom was a Republican, you guys would you would have him nailed to the wall. Facts. For what they're doing over there. And I know we've dealt with it. We just assume in Florida, anytime something happens, it's going to be politicized. by the media. So you guys sitting in judgment of Donald Trump, I mean, excuse me, I think your track record of politicizing these things is very, very bad.
Okay, last question.
Newsom should resign and that the wildfires are all his fault. So do you agree with those comments?
I remember when we had the Surfside Tower collapse, I had people from the Washington Post trying to blame me for it immediately without having any facts or anything. Oh, he didn't declare a state of emergency. First of all, state of emergency doesn't mean you can't respond. It's all that. Excuse me?
Biden did it. I think that's what she's saying.
Well, but what I'm telling you is you guys are trying to make an issue of it when I have watched from this seat. In fact, when I got elected governor, I was meeting with some of the other Republican governors, and what they would say is, hey, if you have a natural disaster, just know media's coming at you, they're going to do it. It's not the same. That mayor of LA, if that were a Republican mayor, I can only imagine what that would do. I mean, you know the fires are at high risk, and you try to go to Africa or wherever she was to go on some type of voyage. You should have been there preparing and doing that, and yet I don't see a lot of heat being directed in that thing. And so, you know, I'd like to see some balance on how this is done. You could criticize the president-elect, but I think you also have to hold these other people accountable, and I have not seen that.
It's because they're fake news, Ron. That's why. It's because they're legacy news. They're outdated. They're yesterday's news even. They cover the news, but they're yesterday's news. That's the real truth here. You know, Adam Carolla, he was on Megyn Kelly's show. You guys remember Adam Carolla? He used to work with Jimmy Kimmel on The Man Show, and now I don't know what the hell he does. I know he's like a radio host or something.
Now, girls jumping on trampolines. God bless you.
But he was on the show, and he called this out. I'm going to let him close this out for you guys because he summed this up perfectly.
Gavin Newsom, you know, got recalled essentially, and he still won. We had a choice between Rick Caruso, a sort of qualified, able-bodied businessman for mayor. We ended up with Karen Bass. Like, we sort of get what we deserve. And I do want to say to all the people in Malibu, very blue, Palisades, very blue, Santa Monica, very blue. You guys like all this. This is who you voted for these people. You're sitting around right now going, how come the fire hydrants don't work? Where's the mayor? Why is she out of the country? What's going on with the aqueduct? You voted for these people. This is who you voted for. You live in Santa Monica, you live in these places. This is how you roll. This is what you agree with. You think it's more important to have a woman of color versus a qualified person. You think it's more important to have a lesbian running the fire department than a qualified person. Well, you asked for it, you got it, now your house is on fire.
I'm not really a Adam Carolla fan, but I'm a fan of what he said right there because he summed this up perfectly. They'd rather have somebody gay. They'd rather have some sort of woman. They'd rather have some sort of trans person. Whatever woke virtue signal thing that they could do to feel good about themselves, feel good internally, whatever hole they got, they try to fill it with wokeness. And now their house burned down. Not just their house, everybody's house done burned down. I'm not happy that this happened, so this is definitely not a celebration. But it is, and I told you so, because DEI needs to die. Those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
You know, they were trying to pin this on Donald Trump, and they were going after Donald Trump's comments. But I think the media, it's like the pot calling the kettle black when they're attacking Donald Trump.
I realize they voted for this woman, but I'm going to assume they thought she had 2 nickels to rub together in between her ears. Live and learn.